Belarus, demonstration against power on the last day of the opposition ultimatum. A new demonstration was taking place in the capital of Belarus against President Alexander Lukashenko on Sunday, the last day of an ultimatum set by the opposition for him to withdraw. Otherwise it will call for a general strike. The Belarusian opposition is demanding the departure of Lukashenko, 66, in power since 1994, since the presidential election deemed fraudulent on 9 August. The protest movement has since come under constant pressure from the authorities, which has resulted in the detention or exile abroad of all of its main figures. Videos shot by passers-by and broadcast by local media showed convoys of buses loaded with law enforcement officers and wire fences driving towards the city center. As with protests in previous weeks, downtown metro stations were closed to dissuade people from gathering, and mobile internet was limited. Belarusian opposition figurehead Svetlana Tikhanovskaya, 38, this month issued an ultimatum to Alexander Lukashenko, giving him until Sunday to step down, otherwise she will call for a monster demonstration and a general strike. Call for elections. In her October 25 ultimatum, Svetlana Tikhanovskaya, who had to flee the country after the August elections, also called for an end to police pressure and the release of all political prisoners. The opposition claimed the ballot had been distorted by fraud, and Ms. Tikhanovskaya claimed victory. From Lithuania, where she took refuge, and with the support of several Western leaders, she calls for new elections. During a visit to Copenhagen on Friday, where she met Foreign Minister Jeppe Kofod, she called for a new election as soon as possible. In a statement, she then said a date was to be set by the end of the year. "I know a lot of people are afraid of losing their jobs," she told AFP of the call to strike. "We do not organize strikes, it is the people who decide for themselves whether they are ready or not." In previous strikes, especially in state-owned enterprises, strikers have come under heavy pressure. The last day. Telegram channel Next Alive, which is partly coordinating the protest, called on its 2 million subscribers to gather at 11 o'clock GMT in central Minsk for the last day of the people's ultimatum. Nexta, based in Poland, was placed this week by the Belarusian judiciary on the list of extremist resources. After carrying out a brutal crackdown in the days after the election, authorities this month threatened that they would fire live ammunition to disperse protesters if necessary. But tens of thousands of protesters continued to gather across the country regardless, and the traditional Women's March Against Power gathered several hundred in Minsk on Saturday, with the NGO Vesna reporting several arrests. All Belarusian opposition figures are now in detention or in exile abroad. Since the start of the protest, the crackdown has left at least 3 dead and dozens injured. The European Parliament this week awarded the Sakharov Prize for Human Rights to the democratic opposition in Belarus. President Alexander Lukashenko has shown him no intention of complying with the demands of his detractors. On the contrary, while he enjoys the support of Moscow, he is under threat of sanctions from the European Union, which rejected the results of the August 9 election and has already sanctioned 40 regime officials, including the Minister of the Interior and his deputy. On Saturday, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo called on Lukashenko to release a U.S. political advisor who was arrested in Belarus ahead of the elections and charged by Belarusian authorities with organizing actions violating public order.